thieves will steal our cars, our valuables, just about anything they can get their hands on.
To cut down on crime and antisocial behaviour, the police are using new tactics where the bad guys get caught in the act.
They're launching covert operations.
Keep pretending you're talking on the phone for a bit longer, OK, mate?
And setting clever traps.
The laptop he's about to steal is equipped with a tracking device
that deliver unsuspecting crooks
go
right into their hands.
And there are also ways that we, the public and local businesses, can fight back with some tricks of our own.
I'm not going to sit back and let them do this. I know what you look like and I know who you are.
We've caught you and we're sending you down.
So, anyone who's up to no good had better think twice. They might just get caught red-handed. On caught red-handed today. In Birmingham, a gang of housebreakers bust into a house, but the cops are watching and listening to their every move.
There's 4 or 5 cars worth of police officers outside. They're completely surrounded.
Also today, garage raiders make a run for it, unaware that they're being watched.
If it hadn't been for my television cameras, this would have been a crime that would never have been detected.
And a thief who's extremely pleased with himself after stealing a car. But the joke's about to be on him. In North Birmingham, just gone 11 p.m, a door smashes. Three hooded figures enter and start poking around. This house is in an area where properties have been systematically burgled. Tonight, these three have picked the wrong house to break into. The district of Erdington was being blighted by burglary, and faced with solving this problem was Inspector Dave Keane and his team.
We were suffering probably 2 or 3 burglaries each day in what was a particularly tight, small area. It's a horrendous crime to suffer. I've been a victim of burglary in the past myself, and it does really sort of shatter that experience for you of feeling safe at home.
A feeling that Paul and Kelly Tollin know only too well. Returning to their home in Rugby after picking up her son Cole from school, Kelly found they'd been burgled.
The bedroom had been ransacked and the whole house, the television in the front room, numerous items had been taken, and then it hit me, it was a break-in.
Everything had just been swiped out and strewn across the floor.
My jewellery box which was taken had wedding jewellery in, sentimental value, my child's first teeth, lock of hair.
But the worst of all was the discovery that the robbers had stolen their 11-week-old female bulldog puppy, Charlie.
The first thing I thought that entered my head was, as we'd only had a puppy 2 weeks ago, I looked through the window in her crate and she wasn't there, and absolute distraught. To comprehend to think that someone could take her absolutely broke me.
Break-ins like the Tollins were reaching epidemic levels in the suburb of Erdington.
And we knew we had to do something about it.
Dave and his fellow officers from the West Midlands Police decided to try a different tactic that was working elsewhere. The Capture House. A property that's designed to bait a thief by being left apparently unattended and full of highly nickable goodies.
History tells us that criminals will return to the same road more than once.
The council found Dave and his team an empty house in the heart of the problem area. They fitted it with an array of small hidden cameras designed to be triggered by any motion.
Each time that sensor is activated, then it will send a text message. So you'll get a series of text messages and straight away you know there's something going on. The fantastic thing about it is that from the phone, you're able then to dial direct in to the camera, so I can see straight away what's going on in the house.
And he doesn't have to wait long. A few nights later, there's a smash at the door. With added sound.
Don't put your line at the front of the yard, bud.
By leaving around various valuables, the police hope that the crooks are distracted long enough for them to reach the house in time.
What phone was it? W8. Should we change?
When the alert comes in, it pings up to me at home. I obviously carry the phone with me, as do other people. It is really odd to be watching a crime in progress in the comfort of your own home.
Believing they found a teenage thief's treasure trove, this trio are in no hurry to leave.
What's really nice is obviously they've got no idea that we're on our way. Straight up to the top of the stairs just to see what else there is to steal.
Blissfully unaware that by now police units are silently assembling outside, the thieves methodically search every corner.
This camera's so well disguised, you'll never know that you're in a police house.
Whatever they were going to spend the money on tomorrow, their plans are about to change.
They're leaving now, out the front door, thinking that they've got away with it.
And right into the hands of the police. Lads, you're nicked. Caught with their hands full, the three teenagers were found guilty of burglary. As they were juveniles, they were each given suspended jail sentences.
He isn't getting away with it because we know who they are. They're on our radar. In fact, you know, they may be out and about, but they're sort of not free really. They're being monitored by us.
And word got around.
After the capture house was successful, we had no crimes reported in that particular area of any nature for 2 weeks. It's a huge impact, and you can see that the message that it sends out, it puts the fear back onto the criminal rather than on the householder or the victim.
And remember Charlie, the Tollin family's stolen puppy? Well, the family, like the police, harnessed the power of modern technology. They launched a huge Find Charlie crusade.
We had a Facebook campaign, and then my husband did a Twitter campaign.
We were really successful actually, and had thousands and thousands of people following us and helping us.
And it worked.
Someone had spotted her outside a school in Birmingham. The police had been contacted and they scanned her because she's microchipped, and she came up as stolen. My breeder's details and my name are on the chip of Charlie. I then went to the police station and I got her back.
Now, it's not just capture houses the police use, as in Erdington. On Court red-handed, we're seeing bait and capture operations of all sorts. Nowadays, police are using bait bikes, capture laptops, even bait cable drums. It's a new trend, and it's catching a lot of criminals.
But most importantly, we're there to put the fear of being caught in their mind, that can they be sure the car they're breaking into is not a bait car, and the bicycle they're stealing is not a bait bicycle.
It's an opportunity for us to gain evidence to be able to bring the offenders to justice.
I can't put a price on the value of bait operations.
And it's not just the police using a bit of cleverness to catch criminals. It's people like you and me too. A sleepy village in Suffolk. Population around 600. Crime virtually non-existent. Unless you live just outside on the main road, that is. Paolo and John's home has received so much criminal attention that they could be forgiven for thinking it was listed in some sort of thieves' travel guide. To protect themselves, they've taken some drastic measures and ended up capturing these burglars in the act.
This has been an ongoing problem. About 10 years ago, somebody had broken into the house through a rear window and stolen all my checkbooks and credit cards, etc. Some years later, when we were on holiday, the garage was broken into and all my garden equipment and machinery was stolen.
And then there was Paolo's motor. That went missing while he was inside playing the piano.
I was practicing and John said, "Where's your car?" I said, "What do you mean, where's my car? It's parked in the usual place." He said, "No, it's not." So I came out, suddenly my car had vanished. And they came in, they drove their own car in here, they hot-wired my car, drove it off, and then they used it in an armed robbery that same night. And they were armed.
If that wasn't enough, in between these events, there was also a steady stream of unsavoury characters attracted to the premises.
At various times we've found people in the garage or walking around the back. They just seem to wander in and poke around at will.
I felt a bit threatened, I think, so I wasn't very happy. So I decided to do something about it. The least you could do is just sort of take a photograph of them.
John and Paolo felt like they needed an extra pair of eyes, so they bought some. Scouring the second-hand surveillance market found them a decent set of cameras.
Well, this was quite an interesting project for us because I'm a plumbing and heating engineer myself, and I often deal with electrical things, and Paolo, my partner, he's very good with software and computer systems.
We decided to have 3 cameras to begin with.
To make installation easier, the cameras wirelessly connect to a computer.
If anybody moves, then it gets recorded onto the hard drive of the computer.
Though nature rarely sits still.
You have trees moving in the wind and things like that, so you have to blank. It's blanked, so that movement won't get recorded. But if anyone walks here, it will get recorded.
Just a few months after this system is installed, it proves its worth. John and Paolo had popped into town.
We were only gone for about 40 minutes. When we came back, I went to get something from the garage. I noticed as I arrived in here that the planer down there was on the floor, and it shouldn't be because it lives in the shelves over there. So I went to pick it up like this to put it back on the shelf. And that's when I noticed that all the cables which I normally keep here were all completely missing, and these shelves are empty.
And the motion detection recorder shows exactly what's been happening in their absence. A truck parks up at the bottom of the drive, and a man walks up to the house to see if anybody's in. On return, the open door to the shed catches his eye. After a quick inspection, he calls his mate over, and so begins a robber's relay as the pair quickly grab as much as they can.
I thought, that should be on our cameras, but I never expected it would be somehow until we played it back, and then all these empty scenes were full of these 2 people taking all the stuff.
It's quite exciting,
It was kind of surreal, really.
But it was horrible as well. People invading your privacy like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even as he watched his plumbing supplies being plundered, there was a sense of satisfaction for John.
I remember feeling rather pleased with myself. I thought, yes, you people in the past, you've come here and broken into my house, you've stolen my things, and you've had the privilege of anonymity, which you didn't deserve. This time, you don't have that, because I know what you look like and I know who you are, or I will eventually.
They contact the local police and hand over this footage. The pictures circulate to forces nationwide. Eventually, this man is identified by Essex police and charged with theft. He was given 120 hours community order and made to pay £300 compensation to John. The other guy remains at large, so if you see him, don't let him near your garage.
If it hadn't been for my television cameras, this would have been a crime that would never have been detected.
Now that the cameras are in place, I feel much more secure, and I know that if anything happens that I'm not aware of at the time, it will be there on record.
And the robbery isn't the only transgression caught on the motion picture cameras.
There's a cat that likes my cat, and he comes every night. They meet up. They have a cat party.
Caught in the act, eh? Still to come on today's Caught Red-Handed, the battle against the bag snatchers.
can see the bag over the foot, lifting it up, just hiding it behind that big bag.
A fed-up bar owner comes up with a high-tech solution. And this rose rustler gets busted by an angry gardener.
John the plumber said how much he enjoyed catching his garage thief. And there is a certain pleasure in seeing a rat caught in a trap. Like this next chap.
In America, this bloke is stealing a car. And he's happy about it. Very happy. But what this laughing criminal doesn't realise is that he's stolen a police bait car. And while he's busy struggling to work the CD player, police patrols are closing in on his position. A few minutes on, and it's game over. And the police have the last laugh. We see a lot of CCTV cameras around nowadays, guarding people's homes and gardens. Altogether on the streets, there are over 1 million cameras with their eyes wide open.
It's a trade-off, isn't it, with CCTV, you know, because there's obviously a big civil liberties debate that people say we're being filmed everywhere. And the sort of payback from that is if you do get attacked or your bag gets stolen or if something gets damaged, then the system's there to solve the crime. And I think if people see that the CCTV is serving that purpose, i.e. it's making them safer, it's helping catch criminals, then they're far more comfortable about it. So I think it's right that it's used for that.
The CCTV camera here catches someone stealing around £1,000 worth of goodies. You probably wouldn't have noticed. So let's see it one more time then, and this time we'll highlight the thief. We've just watched him take a woman's bag from the back of her chair. We'll see what happens here later. In Charing Cross, one man is harnessing the power of the internet to fight back against this kind of crime. Simon Gordon has invented a website designed to help the police and public stop thieves running amok in central London. You've heard of Facebook? Well, this is Face Watch, a gallery of bag snatchers and pickpockets, a sort of anti-social networking, if you will. Simon needed something to deal with the criminals that were the scourge of his family's bar.
It's literally straight out of the Dickensian era. It's candles, it's old posters, everything's original.
But a Dickensian setting brings with it another very Dickensian problem: thieves. And in these conditions, they don't need to be artful.
Ever since we've been first open, you know, there have been people coming in, take advantage of the darkness, take advantage of the fact that it's full up, and they'll swipe things, as they always have done.
Such as this pair of pickpockets. They pick a spot next to an unsuspecting woman who has her back to them. They pretend to chat amongst themselves, while one helps himself to the contents of her bag. He first takes her phone, even checks the make of it, and then passes it across to his accomplice under the table. This sort of thing was rife when Simon and his manager Gerard took over the full running of the bar in 2003.
At the beginning, the first 3 years, it was very bad. We had every year it was going up and going up. We had around 5-6 thefts a week.
My aim is that if people are down here, they should feel safe. And you know, you have a couple of glasses of wine and you forget the fact that you've got your bag on the back of your chair. But that shouldn't matter.
I remember this lovely young lady who was working after school. You know, it was her first job, her first pay, cash, unfortunately, and it was gone. Someone stole it, and she was in tears. She really broke my heart.
It's not just the money. Nowadays, with the amount of things people carry in their bag, it can feel as though your whole world has been taken from you. As Gemma here found out, when having a drink with a friend, her bag was lifted off the back of her chair.
Straight away, that feeling hit me that I couldn't get home because my Oyster card had gone. I couldn't get in because my keys had gone. I couldn't pay for a travel card to get home because my wallet had gone. My iPad was gone, so I couldn't communicate with anybody.
It's not only stealing a bag, it's stealing a part of yourself, to be honest.
The problem was that too many of these bag thieves were remaining on the streets. They've been unafraid of the old CCTV systems, and so have felt free to steal from bars when they should have been behind them.
I suddenly realised that whenever we reported a crime to the police, they used to have to come down and pick up a disc and take it away and go through all this footage.
And there was a lot of footage, and most of it was dark and grainy. Faced with the task of watching it all, Detective Chief Inspector Mike Neville and his fellow officers at New Scotland Yard.
Can you imagine trying to sift through an hour of footage trying to find, say, a bag theft? Somebody's attacked, it's very obvious when it happened, but when somebody does a sneaky thing like a handbag theft or a laptop theft or phone theft, often you can't see when it's happened, so it would take a lot of time to do that, a lot of police time to do that.
Nothing was getting solved, so I thought actually as a business we should be trying to do more to help the police.
So Simon invented this website.
You log into it and you report the crime. You have to be a business that's seeing anything. It produces an automatic witness statement, and then you can upload CCTV and you press the button and it goes to the police. And then every time the police do anything, you get an email back telling you what's going on. So it's really good for victims and for the businesses because you know what's happening with your crime.
Simon's non-profit website allows businesses to recognise suspected thieves as they go from venue to venue. To help this, he wanted improved image quality, so he fitted his bar with a state-of-the-art surveillance system, manned by Head of Security Brian Speake and his team.
The new megapixel cameras, we can actually zoom in and capture quite a lot of detail. We can sort of zoom right into the point where we can see what they're doing with their hands. The cameras are really clear.
If a crime is reported by a customer and is missed at the time, the team spool back to find the exact moment the theft took place, and then put the crucial footage up on the website for the police to investigate. By sharing the images with other venues, they can also be on their guard, and the net closes in on the crook.
The same woman did 3 crimes in Gordon Swine Bar. This one that she did very clearly shows how easy it is to be fooled, basically, to have your stuff taken, because you just wouldn't be thinking of what's going on. So this lady's, there's a lady sitting here, and the thief is standing behind her, and if you watch her right foot, you can see the bag over the foot. She's lifting it up, and again, you know, she's hiding it behind that big bag, so this is how they always do it.
It's audacious, and even the thief blows her cheeks out as she walks away. But her relief is short-lived. She was caught and jailed for 12 months. And as for the pair of pickpockets we saw earlier, before Simon's new system, they probably would have got away with stealing a woman's possessions. But this time, they're going nowhere. A sharp-eyed camera operator sees the whole thing, and they are intercepted at the stairs by a member of the security team. The customer's phone, wallet and MP3 player are found and returned to her. And for these two, a wait in the back room until the police come to arrest them. Gemma's bag snatcher got away on the night, but it was caught on camera. It was this footage you saw earlier. Put up online, it allowed Gemma and the police to see the crime against her. This is Gemma. This is her bag. Keep your eye on it.
He's walked by me to look and tried to take it the minute I sat down, but didn't feel that he could get away with it, and then walked straight back, and I'm more engaged in conversation, and he just flicks it off my chair literally within seconds of me sitting down. He was obviously very good at it because he was very well dressed, because he made it look effortless.
And he thought he'd got away with the crime. But this bag snatcher's face is on Simon's website, so when he comes back for more, the staff know exactly who he is.
Once he came in, it was just a case of going out and detaining him. He was then arrested by the police. Obviously, he tried to deny it, but he's obviously been proven guilty because he's now in prison for 3 months.
It's just good to think that the system works from start to finish. In my case, I know I didn't get my things back, but it's good to know that people cared enough to see it through right to the end and that he got charged.
In the war against thieves, Simon's website is proving to be an invaluable weapon, identifying them quickly.
What would have taken weeks can take hours.
It's a real deterrent. It reduced crime in Gordon's very dramatically. We have had a number of arrests.
Lots of criminals, when they see themselves on CCTV, plead guilty. Now that saves a lot of money. Most importantly, it often stops the victim having to go to court and give evidence. It saves them that additional trauma as well.
It's about helping people to stop crime from happening in the first place. And I really believe that if you can stop people enough, eventually they'll give up. And I hope that'll happen. We've been trying for too long using the old methods, and I think we can actually change things.
And finally, in Wrexham, North Wales, roses are red, violets are blue. I can't be bothered to buy my own, so I'm going to steal yours off you. A proud gardener catches this petal pincher on CCTV after noticing that his front garden mysteriously became sparser overnight. And the more he checks his footage, the more rose rustlers he finds, even in broad daylight. Most women like to receive flowers, but this lady takes the direct approach, barely taking time out from her phone conversation to massacre someone else's plants. Ooh, I like the look of this one as well, don't mind if I do. But this garden's owner did mind. Not wanting to resort to wrapping his bouquets in barbed wire, he decides to publicly shame this premeditated action, putting the video online. Over 20,000 hits later, the local community recognises the man and dobs him into the gardener. But he'd had his fun and needed no more retribution. For the culprit, however, life was less rosy. We're told he's changed his appearance to avoid being recognised as the Wrexham rose robber. Let's hope he's changed his ways too.
That's it for today. Join us next time when the police and the public catch more criminals red-handed.
When a husband's falsely accused of the most heinous crime, family life is torn apart in the new series of Prisoners' Wives starting tonight at 9. Next on BBC One, an emergency call and a woman trapped by fire on today's Real Rescues.